If I were to ask you the last time you failed, you probably have something come to mind pretty quick, huh? Because we all tend to fail and we focus on it way too much. Let's talk about that in your morning cup of inspiration. Thanks for joining me today. Failure is not the end. Listen to what Zig Ziglar says. Remember that failure is an event, not a person. So if you don't take anything else away this morning, know that you are not a failure. If you want to think about failures, it's real easy to just go to Peter. If you'll remember what the night that Jesus was being betrayed and crucified the next day, that Peter denied Christ 3 times after he promised him that he would never do that. And listen to what it says in Luke, the 22nd chapter. It says, because when he did it the 3rd time, Jesus turned and looked at him, if you can imagine. And then Peter remembered the word of the Lord, how he had said to him, before the rooster crows, you'll deny me 3 times. Peter went out, he wept bitterly. Can you imagine if that's the last thing that you said and the last time Jesus looked at you? Jesus was crucified, Jesus died, and he didn't think he'd see him again. And he had to live with that. So he chose to go back to his old life. He thought he'd failed. He thought his life was over in that regard, and he was just going back to be a fisherman. But what happened that day when he was out fishing? His brothers and his fellow fishermen were out. They looked to the shore, and there was Jesus. And they ran in, they recognized him, they knew it was Jesus. And what did Jesus say to Peter? He said, Peter, do you love me? And Peter said, yes, Lord, I love you. And Jesus said, feed my sheep. He didn't do it 1 time, he did it 3 times. I believe he did it 3 times because he allowed Peter to have the opportunity to tell Jesus he loved him just as many times as he had told him to deny him. So Jesus forgave. Jesus never brought it up. Failure is something that we will have in our lives. Fortunately, we're not judged by our works, are we? Let me close with this verse here. Ephesians 2, 8 through 10, it says, never forget, we're saved by grace through faith, not by works. Our salvation and our ministry is a gift of God. It's not our failures. It's not the work that we do. It's the grace and the love that comes through Christ. So you're not a failure today. Trust in the grace and mercy of the Lord. God bless. Thanks for joining me for that morning cup of inspiration. And we'll see you next time.